Hello everyone, my name is Walt and welcome to Sintēze, which is the only one electronic music equipment exhibition. I'm very happy that we host also masterclasses and podcasts. This year we are holding this Sintēze in two places. One is T-Studio / When Coffee Meets Whiskey, which is only 50 meters from here. And second location, Kaņepes Kultūras Center, is here. And my first guest is Gamechanger Audio CEO, owner, and a very good person, Ilja. Welcome.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Hello.
So today Ilja will speak more about motors and electricity, because Gamechanger Audio is a company who involves very unique and interesting products. Go ahead.
Thank you, Walt. So that's right. It's called the topic is called motors and electricity, and just to give a little background, we started off Gamechanger Audio. We started off as a company that invents and makes guitar gear and guitar equipment, and we have quite an interesting catalog of unique and unusual guitar pedals and so on, which has been our main kind of bread and butter for a long time. But thanks to such lovely people as Walt and Geert downstairs and all the local electronic music community and so on, and also the industry in general, because of all this, we've also developed a natural kind of interest in things that reach a little bit beyond guitar equipment. And our first project, which started in a rather naive way, something like, hey, let's do something with motors, turned into a 3 or 4 year long crusade, which ended up in as the motor synth. Here we have the motor synth Mark II. So, and then through the motor synth, I think maybe that was 2021 or something like that, and our relationship with you started getting a little bit more personal.
Yeah,
and,
I remember when you started this one as a prototype, you had motor synth as a keyboard synth, and everyone who wants to explore it, you have an option to test it on T-Studio, and also after this podcast downstairs by by Gamechanger Audio booth.
Yeah.
But you also have a collaboration with Erica Synths, Plasma. Pedal was also made as a modular, so Plasma.
Yeah, exactly. So
drive.
The first taste of this whole kind of electronic gear world, it was the Plasma Drive, which was we put our kind of well-known Plasma pedal into a Eurorack module. But to be completely honest with you, at that point we were like, okay, if those synth people want a module, whatever, let's make them a module.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Right now you also have a module which is called Plasma Voice.
Exactly. Yeah. So now things have evolved through the motor synth. Kind of, we learned a lot of stuff. We got kind of a PhD education in all things connected with synthesis, and now we earlier in the beginning of this year we started shipping our first kind of fully fledged original module, which is the Plasma Voice, which is high voltage electricity generator turned into a fully fledged synthesizer voice. So kind of the whole point of this setup here today is combining the motor synth and 6 of the Plasma voices, and they serve together as the sound sources for this whole setup. So all of the sounds that you're hearing are produced by high voltage electrical discharges or electromotors.
Drone motors. So maybe you can tell also a little bit what happens here. So you invented that spinning motors from 3D printers. 3D printers also was it?
3D printers. The technology behind motor drivers was pushed quite a bit by the flying drone industry, and also you could say that the precision of the control for motors was also kind of pushed by the 3D printing industry a little bit. So luckily here in Riga we have a giant kind of an incredibly talented pool of brains. So our engineers Valters and mostly our engineers Valters, but Martins and Fritzes, we've kind of combined. We managed to combine these kind of take advantage of the state of these motor drivers and how quickly and responsively you can control them. So basically, the idea behind motor synth is what is an oscillator? An oscillator is something that kind of moves in a certain like rate and so on. So essentially, an electromotor is a giant oscillator. So once we figured out a way to achieve very precise and quick response and control over the motors, we here there's 8 of them, and we can play them as a precise musical instrument. So the level of control you gain over this is good enough to be musically pitch perfect.
Okay, we can maybe start with some jam, and then we can ask anyone question, and then we can also test downstairs the new series of pedals, which is called Auto.
Yeah,
3 pedals. So it was recently launched, and only this week I received also. So the first batch are also in T Studio. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. So the motor synth. I'm just gonna maybe like show some sounds and individually, like for example. So this is. These are a few notes that are created by motors, and just for kind of.
Right now will be the plasma voice module, and 6 of them,
Well, here this box here is 6 individual modules, but here, for example, we can hear a high voltage oscillator. So this sound here that you just heard is achieved by sending electricity across a spark gap at audio rate. So, and I guess the thing that has to be said is that we don't allow ourselves to kind of take the standard practices basically, and we always want to make sure that the audio source for everything we build, or maybe the interface or the principle of operation, is something that kind of stimulates your imagination and like for example, it's not a rocket science to put on some hi-hats, but it makes things a little bit more interesting if the hi-hats are electrical hi-hats like that or something like that. So this is kind of something to maybe bear in mind. So I'm gonna play some kind of a beat with some kind of rhythmical beat with the 4 plasma voices, then blend in something here, and then hopefully by the end it's gonna be a total mess. All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, this Dolby Digital edition of the movie speakers.
So yeah, you are coming from the background of playing guitar in the band, and you launched the company in kitchen. So someone is making companies in America in garage, but you started in kitchen. So then you are going to this modular synthesis, and are you playing also live as this setup, or sticking to
yeah,
guitar?
starting to play live. I really like this setup here because like all of these sounds are created with Gamechanger audio sound sources, and usually in the live sets that I don't have a lot of experience, but I've done mostly hour and a half live sets where it's kind of a 60-40 split between this and playing guitar with pedals on top. So the idea is kind of to trying to merge both of these worlds together, and this is also one of the things that's special about the Auto series pedals. So these are just to quickly plug the new pedals. These are classic stereo time-based effects. So chorus, delay, and reverb, but each one of the Auto series pedals features a dynamics and pitch-based CV generator. So you can basically use any modular patch cable to link your playing dynamics to the strength of the effect, or to the rate of the effect, and so on. Or you can link your note choices to affect the parameters. For example, you can have a delay send only on the G sharp note, and so on. And it's very, very fun. And what we're trying to achieve here is also to kind of provide this gateway drug experience for guitarists who maybe think that I'm curious about this whole world of cables and wires and craziness, but it always felt like it's like a kind of gated community or something, a little bit for somebody maybe. So hopefully this kind of can help somebody get their first experience with the modular interface, which is the patching and...
Yeah, because those guys who are not into modular, they still can buy semi-modular synths like Moog, Mothers, Labyrinth, and so on. So yeah, great products. So everyone is welcome to visit Gamechanger Audio booth downstairs. And yeah, thank you everyone who came. We are short in podcasts. Thank you for sharing your passion and what you are doing here in Latvia. And yeah, see you next time. Ciao.
Hey, thanks everybody.